What is going on, guys? I got major news. Well, for me, really. I decided to up my quality in recording. I actually got the new Sony ZV-1F. So I went from a GoPro Hero 10. This is my fourth time doing this video. I was super vexed using the GoPro. Overheated on me like 12 times. Overheated on me while I was doing this video. Hopefully everything will go smooth. Today is going to be a new video. So a new book review. I'm actually going to start veering from doing book reviews on Instagram. I'm going to start doing more video content towards book reviews. And the book that we are doing today is A Day of Fallen Night by Samantha Shannon. One of the important features of this book is that not only is it a Barnes & Noble's exclusive edition, but let me just take off the sleeve here. I went to the meet and greet, or the book signing, where she personally autographed my book to the ghetto librarian Samantha Shannon. This book is a roller coaster. It is the second book, Orange Tree. The story to this book in particular, this story was so damn good that had me up multiple times during the night when I had to work early in the morning and only getting, like, I swear to you, like maybe 2 hours sleep. Plenty of time. Story's so good, based around bloodline that protects the future of the people, and by doing so they must give birth to withstand the birth of a dragon. All that sounds crazy because it's like, yo, how do you give birth and it's gonna stop a dragon, the most craziest creatures? But as you read this story, it just explains itself. The Berethnet, which is the royal blood, is a queendom ruled by a queen, which I find very different, and it's so good because it puts you in a different perspective. Me personally, I enjoy a woman with power. I'm all for it, and it just, like, it blew my mind going like 200 to 300 pages in. The book, by the way, is like 870 pages around there. The story ends on like 862, so I want to say like around 880 is the full entire book. That's including story, prologue, character descriptions, all of that. So the Berethnet is a royal family that must give birth to a child to stop the Nameless One, which is the demonic dragon that's birthed from this mountain called Dreadmount. So they've been ruling in this particular in this volume of the series. He has been chained I want to say for like close to 1,000 years, maybe less than that. He's trying to come out from the mountain, whatever, trying to wreak havoc on the whole kingdom and the outskirts. So basically, you got the north, you got the south, you got the east, you got the west. So in the south, you have Tanuva Maleen Siyu, which is not her physical daughter. It's her lover's daughter. It's like an African influenced tribe almost. They are mages and the wizards and stuff, and the way Samantha Shannon describes this portion of the realm is beautiful. Like the land that they live on, the basin, everything is so full of life, so amazing. So now that we go to the north, it's more cold, it's frigid, windy. He describes these elements so perfectly that you feel like you're inside the story. Then out west you have your queendom, you got the castles, you got it's kind of swampy almost, I want to say. Out east, not really much out east, I want to say. Nothing too crazy happened out there. So it's really like the main focus is really the south, the north, and the west. To keep it short, the direct main characters of the story: Glorian Berethnet, Sabrin, Wolf, Tanuva, and you got Dumai. So out of all of those characters, Dumai is my favorite. She comes from, I believe it's the north, if I am correct. I believe it's the north. Hold up, let me double check. Oh wow, the east is where Dumai is from. As I was saying, my favorite character is Dumai. She plays the major part as being a dragon rider basically comes from Mount Apita, if I'm saying that correctly. Mount Apita is her home. It's where you're able to summon the gods. They call the dragons the gods. So the dragons basically in the story, they are asleep, as they are called in this method of healing. They're in the waters, they're sleeping, they're trying to heal from the last battle, and a lot of them decided to run. There came a part in the story where Dreadmount had erupted and she feared that her people were gonna die. So she winds up ringing this bell with her friend Kanifa. And Kanifa is one of the boys in the village that became her best friend, and you start to notice that he falls in love with her just, you know, as time goes by. Like, he does things that like even I wouldn't have done because it's crazy. He loves it, like he loves her so deeply that like even as like he confessed to her and she told him like, I can't be with you because certain things that we have are they're too valuable to lose, and he understood that and he was willing to take that out. But he put that aside, and he said, you know what, because I love you enough to be in this hectic situation, I'm gonna put all that to a side and I'm gonna protect you as best as I can. He's a good man. The way Samantha Shannon really described his character was amazing. The situation that she goes through where her father, she finds out that she's a princess of the Rainbow Throne. That's where her father obviously is running his kingdom from. She just goes through a whole 180 that she didn't know how to control. She gets sick, terribly sick, because, you know, living in high altitudes, your body is conformed to having to breathe thin air, having to breathe in the cold, and your body just becomes accustomed to it. And now she has to come down from the mountain and travel to this throne that's rightfully hers because she's a direct link to that royal bloodline. She winds up finding out that she has a little sister, like a stepsister. That sister, I think her name is Suzumai. Almost the same name. One's Dumai, the other one is Suzumai. She was supposed to be the next coming princess, but because Dumai came into the picture, everything has swapped. As we see everything for what it is at the current moment, people start to realize, all right, this is not okay because it's written in so and so, and I don't like this, and I'm going to stop everything from happening. You have that family who never liked the king, so Dumai is stuck in the middle. Now they're coming at her because she's taking over, but you know, the throne is rightfully hers, and whatever. It was just a whole commotion that she got in the middle of. It was just crazy. Her story was just nuts. She was just being thrown around everywhere. When Dreadmount had birthed the siblings of Firedale, which Firedale is the son to the Nameless One almost, and he's the one that's gonna avenge the Nameless One and whatever. And then his brother and sisters, they're all flying around. They just do a lot of crazy stuff, and she's stuck in the middle. Like, it's so bad, and I felt so bad for her because certain situations happen, and I cried. I was like, oh my god, I cannot believe this is happening. And like I said, Samantha puts you into this realm where you feel every single thing. You feel like you're the character. The north, shall I say, the north really wasn't too crazy. The story was more involved with the west because Bertold, the king of the north, is married to Sovereign, the queen of the west, or the queendom. Their stories intermingle, not so crazy. When it comes to the south, things get twisted. I think they get, how can I say, questionable as far as loyalty goes. You got the queen of Hathaway. She goes by this person named Canthe, and it's a disguise. So when I found out about that disguise, I bugged out. My girlfriend thought I was tripping. She was asking me if I'm okay, if you know what the hell is going on. And when I just knew when Canthe came into the story, I just knew something just didn't sound right with her because she was part of apparently another tree, orange tree, but it wasn't as new as the orange tree. It was old. It was super old and it was dying out, which is true because it has happened in other trees or other prairies, but her story just wasn't adding up. I kind of just guessed it. I was like, I feel like this is gonna be the witch because in the first book she says certain things that like are triggered in here, or maybe it was just triggered in me because I caught on. She herself was asking too many questions. They were traveling. She knew too well where people were. She knew too well of how certain people looked. Tanuva was looking for her son. Canthi just knew who her son was. A lady that she's never met in her entire life. Mind you, Tanuva, I believe, is 50 years old or 45 years old in the story. Never met her once. She questions her like, I don't understand. Where do you come from? I've heard of this tree, but I never heard of it dying off. So it was just too many questions that Tanuva was asking. Canthi knew too much from out of nowhere. So I caught that off the rip and I just knew. I was like, this is the witch. This is the witch. Please, Tanuva, don't deal with her. What I am gonna say, she plays a very, very good villain. When you read this book and you see how well this woman just mingles with everybody, she becomes like this being that protects everybody, and Tanuva and her lover just they question her, but everyone else is like, oh my god, thank you, we love you, blah blah blah. And the whole time you're reading this story and you're like, nah man, there's something that just don't make sense. But she plays it so well, my guy, so freaking well. I can't even tell you. I felt so bad. And what gave it off, they went into a situation with a dragon. I believe it was the sister of Fairdel, the gold dragon, I think it was, the gold armor. I'm not too sure. But I know they go into a situation with one of the dragons. And the lady freaking releases that energy, kills the dragon instantly. But it's something that Tanuva never saw. But she's read it in many books and many literatures from previous Fury leaders. She just knew something was different about Canthi. That situation, she knew right away, alright, I don't think I'm gonna trust her. But what happens? Canthi goes, listen, I could take you to your son. Oh, well, let's go. And that's where Tanuva messed up. Because now Canthi is playing like she knows everything and she knows it too well. And Tanuva she's so focused on finding her son that she's blinded by the fact that Canthi just knows everything. And that just didn't raise a red flag to her because she was blinded by it. She was just very, 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 just her character was very good. I think the way Samantha Shannon really put into a molding of Canthi, or the witch rather, I think it was very good. If it hadn't been me who, where I grew up and how I could read certain situations and just understand it and be like, alright, I'm not gonna do this. If I hadn't had that instinct, I would have thought, oh my god, Canthi is the best person. But just certain things just wasn't hitting and it wasn't flowing with me. And I was just like, alright, you're a little too knowing. So that portion of the story was really good. Really freaking good. Like I said, this book, being that it's just such a thick book, it took me a while to read. My work schedule, took me a while to read this. Maybe a little less than a month, maybe like 3 weeks. And I know people that are going to be watching this video, oh my god, that's such a short time. Or being who I am, knowing how much I can read, like this book, realistically speaking, probably would have took me about 7-8 days, say a solid week. But being that I was so busy, with my life and everything, it took me about a month. If I was to give this book a rating out of 5, it would definitely be a 4.5. There were certain things that felt repetitive in the book, like the queendom. It felt very repetitive. Glorian, alright, so here's the thing. Glorian was the only difference within that bloodline. So when I compare it to Sovereign from Priory of the Orange Tree, Glorian was hands down the better queen. What she went through, Sovereign and Orange Tree just wouldn't even come near it. Like, Glorian gives birth, doesn't know if the baby is alive or dead, but she said, you know what, I have to go out into the battlefield, I gotta fight. Bro, you don't even know if your baby is alive or if it's dead. Like, your first thought is, I gotta go out and fight and protect my people. Sovereign really in Orange Tree, she doesn't really do that. She's more on a political stance. I feel like personally she swapped roles with Dumai in this story. They kind of lead almost the same life, so that's where I felt this book was kind of repetitive. The structure was a little different, or a little more than a little. I just felt like this book was worth it. Coming out of work on 2 hours of sleep, going straight to Barnes and Nobles, waiting in line, and mind you, the line for this book, when I got there was already about like 60, I want to say, maybe 55 people. Within 1 hour, every single seat was filled, and the back of the line where it divided the people that paid for the book, for the personal autograph and everything, behind that line, I've never seen so many people in one room for a book. It just amazed me because I knew getting this book was gonna be worth it, because when I looked outside the bubble and I seen everybody, I'm like, oh man, this storyline is gonna be amazing. The first book, 10 out of 5. It was an amazing start. It was so phenomenal. This one had certain repetitive things, so that's why I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. Still worth it. I can't wait for book 3. I know she's a little busy because I follow her on Instagram. I know she's a little busy with certain things. I'm literally waiting for book 3. I have my girlfriend reading Orange Tree because after she seen when I ended this book, how I teared up a little bit out of like enjoyment. She was like, oh, I gotta read this. I don't know where she's at right now on the book, but hopefully she's at the good juicy parts of that book, because when it comes to this book is so worth it. So if you guys are looking for a new fantasy book, definitely check this series out. This series, I literally took a shot in the dark. Me personally, I'm a sci-fi kind of guy. I love my aliens. I love galactic warfare. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I took a shot in the dark with Priory of the Orange Tree, and let me tell you, when I hit the target, like dead on. Like, it was a perfect shot, and it's worth it. Guys, I'm telling you, please, if you're looking for a book, a different genre, a different realm, a different life to live, definitely pick this series up, 100%. Alright, we came to the ending of this video. I want to thank you all who continuously support the channel, my work on Instagram. I really do appreciate all of you, especially those who show a lot of support. Like I always say, you know, you guys mean a lot to me. Being able to show who I am. I know I usually play the fool a lot of the time. That's just to make you guys smile. But being able to show you literature, sorry. I don't know why I said that. Being able to show you guys different literature really puts me in my happy zone. So I really do appreciate you guys watching these videos and taking the time to, could say, enjoy. If you don't already, follow me on Instagram at One More Page PLZ. I be posting my work, I take my photography, I do all of that special juicy stuff on my Instagram. But before I go, I have something for you guys at the ending of this video, so I hope you guys enjoy. Oh, he's going on Instagram.
Okay.
All right. So we're here in Barnes and Nobles.
Yes.
Do you remember the challenge that I told you about that we were gonna do, or I was gonna have you do?
Is it the one that I pick a romance book for you and you have to read
so you're gonna choose
Oh,
one romance book for
Gotcha.
me.
okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's see how this goes. Which book?
I was looking for this forever. This one.
The Do-Over by Lynn who? Lynn Painter.
I was looking for it to read it. I found it.
Well, you still need to choose a book for me.
I know. What do you think I'm doing?
I don't know.
I'm looking.
You sure?
Yeah.
How sure are you?
100% sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Say hi.
Well,
So what'd you get me? What'd you get me?
you sweet, filthy boy. It's a sign. If you have fun, at the back of it already.
He said, you hope I have fun?
Yeah, I'm at the back of it already.
I feel I'm gonna die reading that. That whole week, I'm just gonna be miserable.
Oh, I hope you're ready.
So which one did we go with? All right, it's official. Good luck to me. Ready? Some good ramen? All right. Oh my God. I can't even breathe. I'm super stuffed.
Those years did not recognize the person that's in